T.B.Photo X1.5 TFX, and welcome back to another video. Well, this is going to be just a little bit of an introduction video to a little bit of an improvised photo walk I did actually back in May. This was supposed to get out a bit sooner, but life's what happens when you make other plans, so I got a bit of a head cold and I wasn't able to put any material out for some time. But anyway, now it's all cleared up, and as you can see, I'm back in Uppsala, and this is the little piece of kit in question. It's this Kenlock 70 to 220 millimeter constant f4 zoom lens for the Nikkormat series, or at least it's a pre-AI lens, this. So it works beautifully with my Nikkormat EL, and as you can see, I've also had the little Panasonic action cam mounted on top, and unfortunately I managed to crack the original black front lens filter, so I had to get a replacement from Panasonic, and it was the orange version, but I think that makes it a little bit more stand out that it actually is mine. But anyway, I bet I'm not the only one who has had that happen. But anyway, this little lens, let's unlock this, shall we? This little lens I bought on Tradera. I don't remember the price, but as I recall, it was insanely cheap because no one really knew about what it was and what it is and so on, and how sharp or unsharp it is, since it's a third party, and I have never heard of Kenlock before when it comes to lenses and so on. So maybe if you out there in YouTube land, if there is anybody who has any information or any practical experience with the Kenlock series of optics, please put a comment in the comment section below and tell me what your experiences are with it. But I'm rambling at this point. The fact of the matter is that I have actually moved here now to Uppsala, which is so that I wanted to do a little bit. It was spring, as I stated before, it was in the middle of May, and I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a trip down memory lane, to put it a bit cheesy. So I decided to take a stroll through, out in Bomhus, where I've grown up, and just have a look through nature, how it was. I mean, I'm a spring person, I really love spring, May around that time of year. So I thought it was a good opportunity to test this little setup out, and I used some Fuji Superior 200 in it, and just went around a little bit aimlessly, I thought I'll just do this roll up and see what this lens is able to reproduce with a fairly average piece of film stock. But now I'm rambling. I think we'll just cut to the B-roll that I shot with the Panasonic when I was out doing this little episode. And it's a little bit long in the tooth since it was made back in May. So I think you might appreciate it anyway. But as always, this is Tobias Bergström from T.B.Photo X1.5 TFX. I'd like to see you guys in the next video. And as always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, or in any other order. But anyway, I'll just cut to the B-roll now and a little bit of voiceover from my part. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, bye. Okay, so I'm back, and now we're gonna take some test images with this Kenlock lens that I got on Tradera for about 250 Swedish kroner. And since this is in the middle of May, Hägg, this tree that is right in front with the white flowers, there's a sample image of it. This is basically a spring flower. It's one of those trees that just blooms for a couple of weeks in the middle to the end of May, so it's a real sign for spring. But anyway, The place we are now is just a local jogging trail. I think I've been here before when I did my video about the Mamiya RB67 AFD. So I've been here before, but I thought that this time of year, the Mamiya one was in the autumn, and this is now spring. So actually, I think I've read in a book that the beauty with the nature photography is that you can always revisit the same location during the different times of the year, and you will always get different types of results, and this is really a version of that, in my opinion. So yeah, I think you might, if you've been a long time follower of my YouTube, you might recognize some of the places, but all in all, I think you might be enjoying this. So yeah, talk to you in a bit. So now we're actually down at Rudsjön, which is an artificial lake that was built when Korsnäs, the paper factory that is where my parents live in Bomhus, Gävle, there is a lot of birds around this place, and I found one in the bushes here that I'm trying to get a good image of, so here we go. Yeah, I know that it's not the best latitude for, doing it with 35 and so on, but I think that still it has that, X factor that film gives you. So yeah, this is a little bit of a long portion, it's manual focus, manual everything. It does have a center-weighted built-in TTL meter, the Nikkormat EL, but still, it was a little bit of a challenge to try to get these birds in focus, because as you know, they're not static, so they move around quite a bit and a little bit erratic. So yeah, I think I got about 2-3 images of them. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a second attempt at it. And also thinking about, so you can see the shadows on the ground where I have the sun, so it is a little bit of a, multiple things you have to take into consideration to, to get a good exposure for the subject in question. But anyway, I thought it was kind of a neat little exercise, so yeah, I'll leave you to it. Yes, as you can see, there are a little bit of birds in the bushes here, but then up in the tree I heard the distinct sound of a blackbird. So I found it in the tree, and here's a little bit, tricky situation yet again because of the lighting situation. As you can see, you get a bit of flaring from the sun, but I tried to get a good image of that blackbird that was up in the tree, and actually I think I managed to do a pretty decent job. Yeah, you'll see it here in a second. As always, it's a little bit of a time-consuming matter, Yeah, here it is, right in the middle there on the branch. And it's a little bit of a trick to get a good image with this, since keep in mind yet again, this is full manual photography, so it is really, focus is everything, and I need to take in, I think I used the aperture priority on the Nikkormat EL, which means that the camera will set the shutter speed and I choose the aperture. And I think that's really, when it comes to these types of nature photographies, when there are animals in the equation, I think it's a little bit of a noteworthy factor. Oh yes, now we are at Holmsund, which is this little road that goes by the church, and most of the houses along this road were made for the board of directors of the paper factory. So a lot of these are architect houses, but before that it's a little bit of Hegg photography yet again, a little bit of Beck, and yeah, in more or less the field right in front of us, so you can also see it there on the image. That field is really synonymous with summer break for grades, I think it is 4 to 9 at the local school, which I attended for a few years. So yeah, but anyway, so this place brings back a little bit of memories and so on. So it's a little bit of a trip down memory lane, since I am moving to Uppsala. This little excursion was a little bit about documenting where you grew up and so on. So it's a little bit of a nostalgia trip, at least for me, and I thought I'd just bring you guys along with it. So yeah, take care, and you'll hear from me in a bit.
Those who swing both ways, AC/DCs.
Let's make it out, baby.
Yes, a little bit of a correction. The road we were on before was Church Road, or in Swedish, Kyrkovägen. But the road I am on currently, the one that you can see goes into a left-hander in the front here, this is Holmsund LA. So yeah, I'm taking a little bit of images here, you know, the curve of the road and so on, and this is a really nice place in the spring and summer and so on, with the trees and the flowers and the, you know, all the greenery. It's really, really nice. But it's along this road where I am currently on, where most of the houses are, you know, architect designed for the board of directors for the Korsnäs paper factory. A little bit of local area trivia for that, but anyway, just going around here, you know, Hägg is in abundance at this time. The smell is absolutely incredible, and I think it was about, you know, 24 degrees Celsius when I went here, so really brilliant weather for doing this type of, you know, walk down memory lane, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, yeah, this is just a little bit, you know, commentary on where we are and why this is a kind of a nostalgic place for me. And I thought it was a good way to check out this new little Kenlock lens that I managed to get. But anyway, yeah, you'll hear from me later, so take care from now on. Okay, here's a little bit of a site to the left here. I know that it's a little bit outblown by the Panasonic Action Cam, but the big white house that you can see at the end of this gravel little road here, where it says private area and so on, this is Korsnäs mansion. It was kind of a mansion that was erected with the factory, and a lot of you know, big names have had their, you know, banquets at that place. I don't know if it is private, as in it's not owned by Korsnäs anymore, or if it's, you know, privately owned by any single individual. Anyway, you know, here we go now. Now we're basically soon in the center of Bomhus, you know, and yeah, as you can see around you, it's a really nice place to be this time of year. Really, you know, warm weather, blue skies, and the leaves are green. Really, really nice place to be. So anyway, I think this is just a little bit of B-roll. Nothing really special happened here. Try to get some interesting images, but the, you know, opportunity wasn't really quite right. But anyway, this is just, as stated, a trip down memory lane, and yeah, I'll talk to you later. Oh yes, and for you guys who are curious, the music that you hear in the background for this part of the journey, it's courtesy of the Alan Parsons Project, and this is called Psychobabble. Really enjoy this type of progressive rock music, and I would really recommend the band Alan Parsons Project, as hinted at in, I think it is Austin Powers Gold member when they do some, and anyway, go watch that movie as well. It's a little bit of a dorky comedy, but anyway, there's a reference to it in that movie. But anyway, talk to you soon. Oh yes, and now we're going into a little bit of thick smoke territory. The music you hear in the background for this little portion of the journey, it's nothing else than Jimi Hendrix and a instrumental version of his masterpiece Hush Now, which is kind of a psychedelic trip instrumental piece. So anyway, for you guys who want to know, this is a piece from Jimi Hendrix. now we're going towards the end of our little journey together with me testing out this Kenlock, what is it now? It's the 70 to 220 millimeter constant f4 lens for the Nikkormat EL. Well, I haven't been able to find that much information about this lens brand on the internet. Maybe it's just a, what should we call it, a generic type of deal that has just been giving some kind of brand name. But anyway, would I recommend this lens to anybody? Well, yes, I think that if you are into Nikon or use the pre-AI lenses and think that's a little bit of an interesting venue for you, yeah, this is it's hefty, it weighs quite a bit, it's solidly built, and yeah, the images you can judge for yourself, and keep in mind it's manual focus, so you need to take that into account, and yeah. But all in all, I think it's kind of a decent lens for the money. I paid 250 Swedish for it, which is quite a deal for a this kind of, and I think that speaks for itself. And yeah, anyway, this is, as always, this is Tobias Bergstrom from T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, and I'd like to see you guys in the next video, and as always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see and you'll hear me in the next video, so take care from now on. Bye.